Okay, we are live. Just finishing up pretty much where we left off on the kit bot that on the Lake Monster kit. And yeah, I changed. I didn't like how I decided to make basically a 3D printed shaft. I didn't like the idea of that. So I'm changing my mind and deciding to do something else. I'm trying to figure out how to keep this centered and have this 3D printing. Avoiding using a shoulder bolt is really annoying, actually. This feels goofy. Because I started before I logged on. Feels entirely too big. Even 10 millimeters at its largest dimension is a bit much. And then we want to... Hey, how's it going? Actually, before I get too deep... I will keep going. Yeah, I'm redoing... I didn't like 3D print shaft, so I'm in the middle of changing that. I do want to part that. We're going to unsuppress this and use this as a part. We're just going to delete all the features. Broke so many things already. God damn. Yeah, obviously we don't need any these mates anymore. Just delete them, not worry about them. We're gonna have to fix some stuff up before. Sketch on this, basically. Yeah, we can. It'll let us. I don't know if it likes it, but we're gonna do it anyways. Okay, so we're just gonna copy this. Yeah, I mean, at least I feel I at least have them protected from the front. And the idea is this is a pretty wide robot, so ideally it shouldn't be that easy for people to get around, but yeah, this isn't a super meant to be super competitive either way. Because I worry that because this is meant to be something like a design for other people to use, and I worry that whatever I do for add wheel guards might add to the complexity. Actually, I'm gonna edit this feature and have it go both ways. Good enough. Maybe black wasn't the right color for this. Jesus Christ. Also, why do I keep editing, not editing, exiting the whole part? supposed to be 5 millimeters. Seven, maybe? Maybe that's... That's okay. I don't know if it's pretty, but it should work. I don't know. On a lot of my, I guess I'd say on a lot of my, that's actually not true. But I feel like protecting the wheels from the front should be good enough. I didn't really build this in a way that include wheel guards. Yeah, because if I wasn't making this as meant to be like a free design, I probably would have added wheel guards, and I probably would add more than one pair of forks. Like more than one fork on each side, because I'd want forks on the outside more, but... There's a very specific design premise going on here. I don't think I actually want this to be 10 millimeters. What is this, 10 millimeters if I remember? Yeah, it feels like a lot. Also, what the fuck did I break? Oh, it's the... Oh yeah, that'll break it. Okay, that's one less thing broken. Actually, let me just do a couple. Since apparently I had it to the center of the thing, but we'll just do that. Be more stable that way anyways. I'm breaking everything. Weird. And get rid of any edges, yet it's apparently mad at me. Okay, so, oh, nope, still broken. You're just making shit up to be broken. The collinear is broken. Wait, is it? And it's not even okay. So okay. I wanted to make actual forks before I got distracted. Yeah, these are Lego tires. They're essentially Lego tires with a gear on them. I wanted something that would be easy to replicate. And it's pretty much anybody can get Lego tires. Because if I was trying, if this was meant to be a sweaty robot, I would have made it, I would have just done custom tires, but because most of my robots are custom tires. Five millimeters feels like not enough millimeters. Ten felt like too many. And then we want which holes are the screw? Make sure we're editing the right part. Those top screws. I don't know, I feel it's lower than I want it to be. I feel like we want the hinge to be higher. So it depends on what we're doing. Weapon upright. They're similar. Not sure what you mean. Same. At least from what I've done, I know. I kind of want to make the forks kind of like what I did with Jackalope. Shifted front right. Oh, the lifter. Oh, I see what you're talking about. The lifter. Oh, it's just not mated at all, apparently. I see what you're saying. I think I was also looking at the left. I think the mates broke on it, is what happened. Yeah. What were the mates? Okay, just that. That was the only mate, I guess. Good enough. Okay, yeah, the mates broke. That's what happened. Here we go. Okay, now I see what you're saying. I was looking because I think because technically that's the left side of the robot. I think that's what threw me off. But yeah, I got it. And not the upright. So, but yeah, we got it. We got it all figured out. We're squared away. Okay, I need to add forks. So we need new part. I think the forks are the last thing. The last thing I need to do is make the forks, and I think it's actually going to be. That's the only thing I need to worry about other than adding hardware to make sure. Part. Create a sketch here, I guess. So we want this hole to be slightly bigger. That should be good enough. And then we want actually we're going to create a line for the floor. We'll do that. This is how I do most of my okay, then we want this to be tangent to this one too. Because that way, this is how I do my forks on my other robots too. That way I know where the theoretical floor should be. And then I can kind of, what I'm going to do is do the rough sketch. Sorry. This is going to be just half a millimeter off the ground. You know what, this, we're going to make this vertical. And then this is going to have a distance from, wait, cancel. Is that not vertical? Wait, what? Okay, so this is already vertical. We can do about a 1 millimeter gap there. Just gonna have a pretty limited movement. Debating. Yeah, I guess we may as well have this be that come down in line with the bottom of the robot. Just go. Six millimeters, I guess, and then will be a degree. Two degrees. A lot of this is just we're just doing this purely based on vibes. What kind of angle do we want this at? 30 maybe? 30 sounds like a that feels not steep enough maybe. At also 20 degrees. Actually, I should probably judge this based on how high the rest of the robot is. Because this is gonna be kind of what keeps people from going over the top of the robot. Okay, maybe not. Maybe more than that. Okay, that needs to be a bigger angle. Because I don't want... I want the forks to take the damage before the actual lifter. I want this actually probably going out a little bit more than whatever the lifter is. Also, I don't want too little material where the hole is. Then we're just gonna do 5mm. Fat, stupid forks. Actually, we're gonna do a little bit of fillet so it looks a little cleaner. Grace says too much. It was dumb, simple. What? I don't. That's not. What are you doing? Also, I can't. How am I adding a fillet to a different part? Weird. SolidWorks is being weird. That there. To clean it up a little bit. Because sometimes the sharp angles can make it kind of messy. I think about it. I don't think I made the hole big enough, or the slot rather. Probably be extra 0.5 millimeter. Okay. That's not what I wanted to do. Not sure why that prompted NVIDIA to wake up. I thought I renamed this. Rippin'. Rename part. Okay. Oh, third time's the charm, I guess. Okay, so then we gotta get this line up with that. Okay, so those are forks. Those are functional forks that do the job. This is a goofy robot, but I think it'll work. I think it'll do its job. You know what? Now that I'm realizing that, I may want to not have it go against the top of the robot. Because how it is now, it's going to collide with the top of the robot, which is not desired. I'm just going to add to the cut of it. But basically, we're just going to do... One millimeter that way. We'll go 1 millimeter off of this. Just because I feel like it's going to be bad news if we try to have the forks supported against the top of the robot. Because the top of the robot's not going to be super thick, and that could cause damage to it, and that I don't want, like, yeah, it just feels like it's major oversight. Whoops. Sharp corner in the middle is fine. I just don't want the sharp corner on the outside. Yeah, that way when it comes, yeah, I don't just won't collide with that. And having less material there is probably going to be more or less inconsequential. Okay. I'm going to start adding some hardware just to see if things end up colliding. Just got to find it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find. I don't have this apparently organized super well. Oh, this is what I'm looking for. I found it. Don't worry. This is the screw we're looking for. We're gonna need one. I think we're gonna need 8 per side of the robot. I don't know how many I just put in. We're gonna start with hiding the top. Ma'am, lanky ma'am. That's this. These are screws to keep on. Just to keep on the N20s in place. I was tempted to have them kind of go into what keeps the top of the robot on, but I decided that that would require a lot longer screws, and it would be like a different screw than it would be for the rest of it. And I don't think I like the, and it, yeah, I mean, plus I don't think there's much value in having to screw the top on in order to keep your motors in. But oh, there's a lot more screws in this than I thought. It's fine. Is there? I gotta go to the lifter too. Oh, did you guys hear about? I think it's September in Michigan. There's an event being hosted where they have a 12-pound autonomous like one. So it's all autonomous and all 12-pounders, which it feels like, well, it's not, there's other weight bonuses, but I mean, it's 12-pounders, but it's all of them are autonomous. You need to be autonomous in order to apply, which is wild to me. I've heard of sportsmen, but autonomous is a new one. I need 2 more screws. But yeah, I was considering doing it, even though I've never built a 12-pounder before, and I'm not that good at coding. So I don't know if I have, like, I don't know if I know how to build an autonomous robot. Because that would be a whole process. Although, I don't know, with enough peer pressure, I could be tempted to do it, but that would be, that'd be a lot. I don't know if I could get that in existence by September. Oh, not that mirror. We want this other mirror. Add all these screws to it. Nope, not the top. That would be kind of redundant. Okay. It doesn't look like the screws collide with anything, which is the primary reason I was doing this, to make sure they don't collide. I do feel like having the screws in the back creates like a weak point that people would want to shoot for, but I'm sure it'll be fine. You know, you gotta have a weakness in your kit bots, I guess. I guess there's already weaknesses. The fact that it runs on N20s, has exposed size wheels. There's only 2 forks in the front when there should be 3. But other than those like 8 things, actually we still need 4 more for the servo. But I feel like, I mean, I guess within the parameters of not having wheel guards, with having only 2 forks in the front for a robot that is wide enough that it should arguably have more. I don't think we like need, like I don't think we need more. We can optimize it as much as we want within those conditions, and it's not like, oh, this free robot designs, no one's going to be saying this is too good. That's not a thing I think I have to worry about. I'm not Peter with his scalar kits. And I don't think has anyone really seen like a plastic ant design that's been out there that everyone's like, oh man, hate to see that one coming. It's usually just, yeah, that one's pretty solid. Like, it works. Like the plifter. Okay. Because currently, oh, I should save. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I just need to find a screw for the fork. So this is just a regular M3 by whatever. Let me be right back. How long are we making this? Probably. Oh, that's way too long. 20? Partially threaded? $20 might be the answer because that would make it end up being partially threaded. If it's partially threaded, then let me double check. Oh, it's not partially threaded enough to matter. Never mind. But how? I mean, 20 millimeters, I think, would be the right amount of engagement in it. I think actually we go for 20 just cause. Or. Cause we have what, 8 millimeters here, 8 plus. We got 14 millimeters. I think 18 would be the smallest I would go. That's 4 millimeters engagement. I think 20 might be. I'm like looking at the Costa and McMaster car and it like goes up sharply in price once you get to 20, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to do 18. Which I think I might already have. Let me double check. No, I don't. No, I don't want a 2D DXF. When in my life have I ever wanted to download a 2D DXF file from? M3 by 18. Okay, insert. Do that there. What? No, we're not concentric. Concentric, not concentric. That's not. What? Because what do I do with that hole? No, I didn't want to change the sketch. I want to change of it. $31. That feels excessive. We're gonna do 22. And for those wondering, oh, you just did 18. And let's be honest, it's the hardware, so it's like, and it's like the hardware for a kit, or not a kit, but a free. More specifically, it's gonna be a free online design people are gonna download. They aren't necessarily gonna use the exact screws I plan on using. I want some flexibility because I don't know if it's easier to get 20, 22. Okay. Although I think I do want to edit because I currently have the threads the size the same for both sides of the hole, and I want to thread into this, but I don't want it to thread into that. So I'm gonna actually do another cut. Sketch, double check. What's the sketch at currently? Or like the diameter of the hole. Probably gonna want to be. We'll do 3.2, just because realistically the hole is probably gonna end up being smaller. Okay, now the screws are kind of getting in the way. Okay, there we go. Something didn't quite seem right. And then we're gonna do 3.6. True. It's mostly because it would take forever for it to screw it in. Like, it wouldn't be a problem if it threaded into both, but it would just take way longer to thread it. Because, yeah, I know the screw itself is not going to rotate, but it's more so because it would take twice as long to go into. Because you want to just slide through here and then the thread into this part. Like, it's less about like function of the robot and more about the function of actually assembling it. Like, if it threads into it a little bit, like, I'm not going to, like, it's not going to be the end of the world. But if it threads in a little, yeah, you can push it right through the first. Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. So you can push it through the through this part, and then it thread into the second one. It should still be pretty tight though, in a way that like it's not moving around. So I got to be careful with it, but it'll still be snug. But it's not gonna be. It's not gonna. The threads there aren't gonna be what's supporting, keeping it from pulling out. The threads on this section aren't preventing it from pulling out. It's just providing support. Well, this is what's threaded into and prevent it from pulling out. Okay. This looks functional enough. And 20s. This should be enough room for this should be more than enough room for the electronics. There's not really much stopping me from having a left and right version of this. I think I might just make a left and right version of this. Because you're going to have to print two of them anyways, but... I'm actually going... That's going to break everything if I do that. Wait, will this break everything if I... Wait. It's already broken. Oh, it's because I got rid of... Yeah. Okay, whatever. Yeah, because I want it less likely for, I guess, doesn't probably matter that much, but we're going to take the lazy route. Just leave it that way. Yeah, I think pretty much, I'm like thinking, I'm like doing it. Really does not want me to work on this part. A little bit of fillets. That's not little. Actually, I kind of want to add fillets. Shut up. Yeah, that. I just don't want to have the edges too harsh on that. Just trying to look, see if there's anything I don't like. Most of it, I think I'm just going to have to... Wait a minute. I just sort of realized I have nothing really retaining these Lego wheels. Because I was like, oh, I'll like make a washer thing. And then I never did. Also, because there's going to like... Because currently right now, these are just on shafts that are meant to be have screws on. I'm going to delete that. And then we're just going to... Am I currently editing it? I'm not currently editing. Okay, now we're editing. Basically, the whole point of this little thing we're making is literally just to keep the wheels on. How well that's gonna work is to be determined. I don't really consider this a smart idea. This is add this to the list of things to make this robot to nerf the robot itself. Oop, not that one. Right. Yeah, he's gonna... The fuck? Is this mated to some... Am I losing it? He has no mates. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna be a good robot. It's like refusing to actually... You... Am I dumb? Am I... What? Am I fucking... What the fuck? I don't really understand how this is even possible. You know what? This was a bad idea. Yeah, just delete. I'm just gonna do it from scratch. That was a bad idea. Who let me do that? This is... Yeah, I don't know. I create entirely too many things inside the assembly. It's a problem. Someone needs to have an intervention on me. Oh, this is a kitbot. A theme? Yeah, I'm trying to use it as a like a plastic ant design primarily. And I was going to make videos specifically about it in order to like make more of the educational content surrounding this bot or around this bot while having the plastic ant design and stuff. And I was also going to go in addition to the lifter version, I was going to make a spinner version and then like a full ant so I can go through like the whole life cycle of creating your first lifter, creating your first spinner, so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm hoping it works out the way I imagine it. Because this is this is a lifter plant in how we're seeing this now. So Lego tires with 4-wheel drive, but going to an N20. Let's try to keep it cheap. A regular servo and a with a lifter, like this style lifter, the gear. Nice little slot for the switch so it fits snugly. Just drops in, sort of latches in. I ended up deciding to make it wide instead of long for this one. I kind of am... I think when I made Bigfoot, I ended up kind of accidentally making it long, which I don't necessarily think was what I should have done, but I've been more into the wider boys lately, the wide boy bots. Even though this doesn't really make use of its wideness because there's only the inside forks. So it doesn't actually like corral people, but maybe I'll do something with that in the future. We'll see if... Okay, we're actually going to do edit to this mirror. Cancel. Why is it getting angry at me? And then this mirror, we're going to add. I'm curious what the weight estimate on this is. Save. Because I haven't really looked at that, and this should be the most accurate. That's not a good. That's way overweight. I don't know. Yeah, I may need to look at that. What is so fucking heavy? This looks ugly as sin. Oh, I forgot that's how I did that. I don't think that's gonna work in retrospect. Having that be the same part as that. But how much is this weigh? This is a half a pound? I don't think this is gonna be half a pound. That doesn't sound right. PET. Let me try. What's the estimate if it's not? Because, like, this is probably... Okay. Even still, that's a lot. Is this just way thicker than it needs to be? How thick did I make the bottom? 4 millimeters? Huh. I mean, it's probably not going to be 100% infill anyways. It's probably going to end up being a lot lighter than that. Yeah, it's like, there's no way this is going to be solid. So I'm debating at how, yeah, because PET is basically, that's why I did it as an estimate, but when something is not going to be 100% infill, it's kind of like, okay, maybe that's a bit excessive. I was kind of worried that I did get a little, what's the word? I think these are the same way. I don't remember what material I made the Lego tires. ABS. Yeah, and those aren't going to be 100. I don't think those are going to be 100% infill ABS. But because ideally this was supposed to be like an underweight robot. If it ends up being overweight, we may have to rethink some things. But we'll see. Also, I think there are a lot of screws. Because, like, how much is one of these many screws? That is also a possibility. Doing. What have I done? Oh, those are only half a gram. I don't think that's it. Yeah, that is pretty thick. Oh god, what have I done? Oh no. Oh god. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, if that was 100% thickness, that would be a lot of weight. Yeah, because that'll probably also be a pretty hollow for the most part. Because the thing is, a lot of these, this is going to be pretty dense. These are probably going to be 100% infill. That's going to practically be 100%. These are practically being 100%. Same with the forks. This may as well be 100%. But yeah, these are going to be mostly, the wheels are going to be mostly hollow, and the front especially is going to be mostly hollow. But yeah. I think I'll have to, I guess I could slice it up. What am I doing? Yeah, especially a part this big. I think I'm just going to slice it. New folder. I think, well, this new folder is going to be Lake Monster. And the reason I'm calling it Lake Monster is because there's a lot of lake monsters. And the idea for this is that I won't run out of names, but there's still a generic name to come from. Like, so every single version is going to be a different lake monster. And theoretically, I don't know if people are actually going to do this when they build one, but other people can name them after lake monsters and not have the same exact. Oh, this is. I didn't realize it didn't fit on a mini. Maybe that should have. Maybe that should have been one of my criteria, being able to print this on a mini 3D printer. I may want to rethink that, actually. I didn't think about that. I can print it, but I feel like the amount of people that will be, holy shit, this is so fucking wide. I am gonna, okay, we're gonna have to circle back, because I'm like, wait a minute, this is wide as shit. It's like, let's say we made it 15% infill. Probably, that's realistically what I would do. Millimeter thick on the bottom. Do 4 to be. I'm gonna ignore the fact that it probably wants support material, but 116. That's still pretty hefty, but that's like almost, I mean, that's 100, that's like 80 grams less than the original estimate though. But I think I need to make it less wide. I think I made it too wide. Because it doesn't fit on a Prusa. It doesn't fit on a Prusa Mini at all, and barely fits on a Prusa Mark III for the chassis. Yeah, 116 kilograms in PLA. Because that's definitely less than the initial estimate. Yeah, compared to that, that's about 80. That's like 75 grams less. But I think I need to rethink the width of this robot, because it is entirely too wide. Because I don't think, like, I want to be able to be printed. I want to be able to be printed on as many things as possible. It's going to have to be significantly less wide. I don't think. I'm realizing that the wheel guards, also me using shafts as part of the chassis, I don't think is going to make sense. I don't think that made sense in the first place, to be honest. So yeah, we're not gonna have the shafts be part of the chassis. One, that was a dumb idea in the first place. Yeah, it would be hell to print, and they would break, and that would ruin the whole chassis, which is arguably also dumb. Why it was a dumb idea? Because yeah, those shafts would break because they're PLA, and they're the shafts for the motors, and then you just ruin the whole chassis. So that was a bad idea in the first place. Who let me do that? Nobody should have let me do that. So we're just gonna, yeah, we're gonna. We're just gonna, can we just delete it and not break everything? What if we suppress it? Okay, so it doesn't break things if I suppress it, which means. What do you, the other side, do you mean like having it underneath the lifter itself, or squeeze, not the servo, from the other side? I think. Yeah, I think I see what you're saying. Because if we mount it from the other side... Yeah, I would have to make the gear small. This gear would not be able to take up as much of it as I... Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's under... Oh, God. If I do that... Yeah, then... Yeah, like you said... Yeah, I see. I think you mean something like this, ignoring the fact that this just moved everything. But like this? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This could work. We're gonna have to make some adjustments to this. No, it's not a stupid suggestion. Having everything closer to the center is better. Because that's, I know when I made Hodag, I pretty much purposely had the servo in the center, and I did something arguably more aggressive than that. But we do have new issues, though. Just to... Yeah, this is... It can work, but... I mean, I'm not exactly in a hurry to make this, so I'm not... It's not necessarily a... what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, it does clear... There's a lot less wiggle room for the lifter. I do think that reduce... I mean... Because I would just change this so it isn't the... It wouldn't be this wide. Because this is way more gear than is needed. Nope, that's not what I want to do at all. But yeah, pushing the servo as close to the center of the robot probably is what I'm supposed to do. No, not that one. Yeah, that basically ruined... Okay. So basically, we don't do that crazy shit. Just gonna delete that, honestly. No, cancel. No, we're not gonna delete it. We're not gonna completely undo that. I'll have to sleep on it, but... Because... Yeah, because I do feel like the robot's entirely too wide, and putting the servo in the middle would be better. Clearance issues. I don't think it actually creates lift clearance issues, but because also I think I could even raise the whole lifter a little bit more, still teensy bit. Because I also wasn't super married to the married to this, but yeah, I'm trying to make so much of this 3D printed, it's actually creating issues. Just trying to think. Also, what the fuck is this song? Bird Therapist? No. Okay. Because I'm realizing. Because I'm also realizing that by doing that, I'm fundamentally changing also how the lifter forks, the lifter mounted. Really change. Yeah, that because I would have to have it. Because the gear would have to only be this portion, but then it would have to come out in some way to be able to have the lifter work. I do think yeah, my lifter mechanism is pretty wide because of what I'm trying to do with it. Okay, so for now we're gonna go back to that. Actually, before I, because I want to see if like theoretically, if we just got rid of the wheel guards and those stupid shafts, would it work? It would like barely work without the wheel guards and shafts. Maybe I'm trying to do too much with 4 wheels. Is 4 wheels too many wheels? Maybe that's the real issue. Me trying to do 4 wheels. But that is true. Mm-hmm. Or maybe these are the Maybe these tires are also too... These are wide-ass tires, too. I think that doesn't help either. I mean, I could use these for the shafts, I guess. I know those aren't long enough. Jesus Christ, whatever I can use for the I realize anything I can use for the shaft is going to be huge. Yeah, I think they do. I think it's such a massive tire. I don't remember which tire that is. Let's go. Lego tires. Because we have, these are the 37 by 22. I forgot which which dimension is which. 22 wide. So what are we looking for? We're looking for some. Okay. They're gonna. Seven. There's 37 as our height, which is our diameter rather. 37 by 18. And by 22. 37 by 14. Second column, fifth row. Yeah, this is what we have now. Yeah, this is what we currently are using, is this one. That's what this is. I was trying to look at what smaller. We got a lot. Okay. Yeah, and those aren't, if it's not even available, that's definitely not on the radar. Yeah, because these are cheap as fuck. Then we got, that seems like there's too much, like, not tire. Or there's too much tire to it, so I wouldn't be able to mount it super well. Off-road tire. Yeah, because the problem with, the nice thing about this is it has so much, like, it's so little of it is not rubber, so it ends up working really well. This is why I do custom wheels. I wouldn't have to worry about this problem. Um, hmm. Yeah, because the thing is, I'm trying to look for like a commonly available tire is the thing. Because there's definitely ones. I mean, I imagine there's a reason why everyone uses this one, but it doesn't also have to be a Lego tire. It just has to be something widely available is more the thing. This is what I get for trying to add a gear to it. There's also this one, but that's a bigger diameter. I feel like I'm just fundamentally doing something wrong. I'm trying to figure out what it is. It's so wide. Such a big problem. Because how long does this shaft have to be to even hold this on? Jesus Christ. That's going to have to be a 30 millimeter bolt. Actually, before I do that, because I know I have a 30 millimeter bolt. Do this stuff. This is a 30 millimeter screw, right? Yeah, 30 millimeter. Oh my god. This would be 6. Yeah, we're just gonna delete. Line 4 millimeters. I don't know if this actually will end up working it. Well, obviously I'm gonna have to make the hole smaller, but maybe a little bit bigger, but don't. Yeah, we're just gonna get rid. Oh yeah, I forgot of that goofy chamfer. Okay. We're gonna just, I mean, that sounds like it has a larger diameter though, based on how you described it. Because this is what the first one is the diameter, so that'd be a larger diameter. You mean to tell me, even despite it saying 43.2, it's also 37 milli, also the same diameter. Also, these get a lot more expensive than the other ones. Because these ones stay a lot cheaper. They go up to 7.5 cents. I think I'm gonna try to make this one work. Oh yeah. But yeah, I think I can continue making these ones work though. We'll see what it ends up being, but so far I've only added weight though, which isn't a great start. It's currently. Okay, so we're gonna just. We can't have built-in milligrams. Nope, we want to get rid of. Please tell me this doesn't break everything. No, this is a 37 millimeter outer diameter. Because this is the radius of it. So it's a 37 millimeter outer. Because if the radius is that much. That's a 37 millimeter outer diameter. And considering it fits in all my sketches, I know it's the correct diameter. How'd you even come to that? Oh, it's driving me crazy. Just gonna... No. Oh no, what the fuck? What the fuck did I do? What is this? No, let me edit whatever the fuck. Oh. Oh. I know it. I know what just happened. Just gonna... That's fine. We're fine. What? Why is... What are you smoking? That's that. What is going on right now? It just can't cope? It's all work. Why are you doing? Yeah, I don't know how that ended up there. Fuck even is a sketch. You're just making up sketch planes? What? Picking random faces? The fuck do you mean? Oh, we're just gonna... What are you doing, SolidWorks? What are you doing? Not how sketches work. It's literally never been how this... What? There was dimensions there. Just erasing my dimensions? What is this reference? I did this based on dimensions, and they just like, yeah, we, it's fixed here. Yeah, I'm aware that the hole for the fork is next to the wheel because I don't. It's. I'm trying to fix it. I'm aware. I mean, I guess SolidWorks, and you just make shit up that things are gonna break. Damn you, SolidWorks, you dick. Just put shit on random planes. Just making up planes. What? Wait. I know it's doing some fun. It's doing some chicanery. I got it. I can fix this. I know why it happened, and I'm just. I got this. Yeah. Well, I didn't. It's not the things I deleted. It's the fact that the original thing was going this way, then this way, but I got rid of this way, and I couldn't. So I had to switch this way to going to this way, and then that confused the shit out of it. Because if I would have had this be the first direction in the first place, I wouldn't have this problem. Okay, so it should work now. Yeah, pretty much the origin, yeah. Broke everything. It'll probably be controlled by Malinky Nano. That is, I mean, probably the best choice, but we'll see if that's what I end up going with. Because I am a huge fan of the Malinky, and I do think that the Malinky would work well for this situation. Oh, that's excellent. I'm not clicking the wrong thing there. I feel like for ants, a lot of time Malinky Nano is just the kind of my default choice unless I'm using brushless motors. I feel like Malinky Nano is just a way to go. If you're running brushless motors, I would just use something different for receipt. I would like just use a FS2A or ER4. Now that we did all that, now we can fix the fork. Why does it act like there's a thing there? There's nothing there. I'm trying to pretend like there's something there. Okay. Okay, we're still good. Good enough, I guess. Oh. That, since I already redid it. How is this mate? Why is this angry now? This is the simple. That didn't even change. What are you smoking, SolidWorks? Okay. It's probably errors that I just created, but we'll get back to that in a minute. It's, I swear, whatever I'm doing to SolidWorks, it does not like how I do things. I have too many things related to other things, and it doesn't like it when you do that. SolidWorks does not like how I use SolidWorks. Okay, so it like barely fits. It does not fit actually that way. It actually only fits flat on. This feels huge. You know, like this feels big. Like just big in all directions. The big, like, I think Bigfoot might be longer and what, like, I don't think this is a chonky boy. This is a beefy boy. Navy. I mean, you can make the whole robot a little bit less wide because we got a little bit of room to work with there, but the Mini is pretty small. I don't think, well, I guess, because I think the biggest part of Bigfoot, just doing a cost rundown. Those are some cheap N20s if you're getting 2 of them for $5. Yeah, it's definitely designed to be something that is easy to build, or cheap to build especially. And I'm trying to use as few pieces of hardware as possible, assuming it works out the way I want it to. Large pack. Oh yeah, yeah. I guess if you buy them in bulk, now these freaking button head screws. Is literally no mates into the one move. Okay. But yeah, this is purposely supposed to be like someone's first bot. I also was gonna have videos that specifically go with it on how to build it, and that was kind of a big part of it too, because I'm trying to, you know, link it to the YouTube channel and everything too. And that way I can teach lessons or like teach people about combat robotics and then like have something to follow along with. Instead of me talking about a robot that I'm trying to keep semi close to my chest. Oh yeah, I need to fix the top. Okay. A lot of my main robots, I don't want to give too much away. But if I have something I'm like, here, the CAD's free in this location. Okay. Why does it say that there's rebuild errors, yet it's giving me no errors? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm trying to do something with it. Because this is also creating a version of it that's going to be a spinner. That's why this part is modular. But I worry that I'm trying to do too many things at once, but with this robot. Because I have a whole series that's going to be like the lifter, just getting people to build their first plastic ant, and the second one's going to be about spinners and the safety around that. And then the third one's going to be like going from a plastic ant to a full combat ant. What the fuck is this hole? Why is there a random hole? Delete that. Jesus, we're struggling right now. Mm-hmm. 3 different base frames, yeah. Yeah, right now I'm just trying to get the first one to exist and so I can test it to see if it actually is functional. and is as easy to build as I think it or is. Make sure it's as easy to build as it should be, because some of my robot, because I know Bigfoot, especially when I first made it, it was a pain in the butt to actually assemble. I'm trying to avoid that here. It's one thing when I'm building it myself. It's another thing when other people have to build it. We're debating if there's a way I can get this servo to be mounted underneath this, like we were talking about earlier. Because if I can get this servo mounted underneath this, I can make the robot doesn't have to be nearly as wide. I'm definitely gonna have to break stuff to do that. Because these uprights, to do everything I'm trying to do, I can't switch out these uprights. Or these uprights have to be this far away from each other. But I can, yeah, I think I want to try to make the servo underneath in some way. Somehow, some way. They're gonna route through here, through the front of the robot, through this part, right here. So this little gap is for. You'll want to like tape it down in the front, but it should be fine. I had to do something similar with Jackalope. Yeah, I might try to create more of a lip here or something, but for now, I'll have to redesign. Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's so many things I'm trying. Also, yeah, we'll see. Because I remember I have to design the spinner to fit inside this too at some point. Being if I want to try to move this servo in now, I'm really not excited to do that because. Yeah, I just think this whole robot's way wider than it needs to be. I know it can work. It has to get wide at some point here still. The gear is smaller and in the center more. Also, how to make ground. Are you talking about like for plastic ants or for like TPU forks? Because for TPU forks, Hodag has TPU forks, and they're kind of built in a way that's different than these ones because these are rigid forks. Yeah, well, the thing is, I'm trying to have it. Yeah, I'm trying to. We'll see about the spinner part, but to circle back to the forks, since these are rigid, I would like. I kind of have to treat them more like I would a metal fork, but for 3D printed forks with TP, if you're using TPU specifically, I have it so unlike how this is where there's like a gap here. I have the TPU, like I designed the part in a way that it would collide with this front part. So that way it's basically having tension going into the ground. So it should essentially be colliding with either the robot or the ground when you're designing the TPU forks. So it's just because it's naturally going to bend and it's going to create its own, like, because people talk about using springs that have tension to the ground. And if you do that if the TPU basically can act like its own spring, because that's what I did with the most recent forks for Hodag, and it's worked out halfway decently, as long as they're wide enough, because you're gonna have to make spring preloaded basically. But you also like plastic forks should be significantly wider than their metal counterpoint. It should be a little bit wider than their metal counterparts, because it just isn't gonna work otherwise. They're not nearly as durable. Okay. But yeah, I think I may have to move the servo in, because it's still pretty wide. Let me try saving the body and seeing what ends up. Because I did change some things, or fix some things rather, not even change. Oh, that's not. It didn't work right. Did I just sit? No. No, I didn't do what I. No. I just realized I saved the. Didn't save it as STL. Baleen forks. Are those. Trying to think of what you mean by the baleen forks. I haven't heard that term as much. Is that like the sort of the whale teeth looking? Oh, I broke it. I'm trying, because I know because what I have currently with Hodag, where I have a lot more modular, like the comb forks. I haven't really tried out the comb forks or really fought too many other robots. Yeah. Oh, you're right. I did. Well, if I ever need that, that's probably why he's getting angry with me. I should just export the entire robot as an STL. Whoops. I am. This is what. Apparently, I can't walk and chew gum. I can't talk in it. You'd think I'd get better at this. I've pretty much only done this on stream, or done. I've only done 90% of my CAD on stream. The only CAD I don't do on stream is stuff that I do like. Whoops. Whoopsie daisy. Oh, this is only 80 grams? Jesus Christ. This is a lot less filament. There was that much? Where? Yeah, because if I just change the body, if that's also a nice thing what I can do if I can go to mass properties and override it. What are we at? What that's 81 grams. So I can override this, which is actually what I do with with pretty much any robot with 3D printed parts, which is all of my robots, is I override the mass properties in. Yeah, I guess that it was cutting off part of the biggest part of the robot. Yeah, because what's that put our weight estimate at? Oh, yeah. Holy shit. We went from like 100 grams underweight to 100 grams, or like 50 grams under. And that's not even accounting for like these not being 100% in film. But yeah, if you want to add your own, you're going to have to add your own wheel guards, I guess. You're on your own there. But yeah, I think I want. I think it is a good. I like a good. I think I like the idea of it being able to be printed on a Prusa Mini, because I think because I want to say it's all the Prusa Mini is also a similar size bed as like the Bamboo Mini, and I think like more people being able to print it is like a good thing in general. But, so it will fit. So I don't necessarily have to move the servo for not yet at least. We'll see. Oh my gosh, I expected to be working on the spinner part, but because I wanted to at least have the spinner like before I end up taking this version to an event, I was gonna at least like CAD it so like theoretically there could be a spinner, but then I test it with a lifter and change things and then sort of just double check and then test it with the spinner and then start releasing it. Is kind of what the plan was for this. Also, it probably doesn't even need that much wedge if I really think about it. Like I could probably, I don't know how much of this wedge is really doing much, but I don't know. What's the gap here? This is about 7 mm. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure there's enough gap for like wires to sit. I guess the wires should be able to go in there. True. This is supposed to be a plastic ant, so that wouldn't really work. I could design a separate 3D printed part if I wanted to add a wheel guard. Like have the wheel guards be separate. But I think that's a future iteration problem because I think currently right now, as I want it to be purposely something somebody can just like work on. And like, oh, I have like, boom, I have a robot piece of polycarb. Yeah, there's definitely ways to protect those wheels. But yeah, it's okay. We're gonna. Why is it saying that's the one part of the robot that isn't freaking out yet? It's saying it has build errors. So what is this music? Jazz. Yeah, I think this is good enough for now. Because I think next week I'm gonna be working on Hodag again. Because I'll be taken to another event up in Duluth this weekend. I'll be doing that. They'll be fighting there. And I don't expect. I'm hoping I made the major overhaul to the weapon assembly, which I'm hoping is going to work out. But if it doesn't, I'm going to be really sad. But that's actually not. I already have changes, which isn't the small changes. The changes I want to make already aren't. I want to are to the horizontal configuration, which I don't. You guys probably might have seen me work on. I basically want to add metal to the wedge that I have currently. It's just a TPU wedge. Which for a beetle, I think we need some sort of metal to go against the horizontals to really stop them. And I definitely have the weight for it. We're a little bit closer to 3 pounds, but we're still not there yet. And maybe bring back metal forks to at least have them as an option. I don't know if I'll necessarily use the metal forks that much, but but basically just add metal to the different configurations I have, because currently it's a lot of TPU and stuff. But thanks for tuning in. This was actually a pretty good stream. A lot more people in the chat than normal. And I think some new faces. I don't think. So thanks for the questions to everyone that came, and have a great night.